Hi, welcome to the quiz. You can answer along on quizalto.com, all for free. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started, good luck. What is the primary storage class in ROSA? SC1, ST1, IO1, GP2. The primary storage class in ROSA is GP2, providing a balance of price and performance for most workloads. How are ROSA clusters updated? Through managed updates by Red Hat. Automatically by AWS. Through third-party tools. Manually by the customer. Red Hat manages updates for ROSA clusters, ensuring they are secure, stable, and up-to-date. What is the purpose of the cluster monitoring operator in ROSA? To manage log aggregation. To monitor AWS services. To deploy and manage monitoring components. To handle alerts only. The cluster monitoring operator in ROSA deploys and manages components like Prometheus for comprehensive monitoring. How does ROSA handle infrastructure as code? Only through Terraform. With chef recipes. Using AWS CloudFormation or OpenShift templates. Via Ansible playbooks. ROSA supports infrastructure as code using AWS CloudFormation or OpenShift templates. Which service does ROSA use for service discovery? Zookeeper. AWS Cloud Map Integration. Console. OpenShift's internal DNS. ROSA can integrate with AWS Cloud Map for service discovery, making it easy to manage service locations. How does ROSA handle container registry? Using Red Hat's Quay.io or AWS ECR. Through a self-hosted registry. Via GitLab Container Registry. Only with Docker Hub. ROSA can use Red Hat's Quay.io or Amazon Elastic Container Registry for storing and managing container images. Which feature in ROSA allows for easy cluster hibernation? Machine health checks with auto-scaling. Manual node shutdown. AWS Instance Scheduler. OpenShift suspend feature. ROSA uses machine health checks with AWS auto-scaling to enable easy cluster hibernation during off hours. How does ROSA ensure secure communication within the cluster? Using mutual TLS and network policies. Via SSH tunnels. Only through VPN. With IPsec. ROSA uses mutual TLS for service-to-service communication and network policies for further security. What is Red Hat OpenShift service on AWS? An on-premises OpenShift deployment. A hybrid cloud solution combining OpenShift and Azure. A self-managed OpenShift service on AWS. A fully managed OpenShift service on AWS. ROSA is a fully managed, jointly engineered solution that allows you to run OpenShift clusters on AWS without the operational overhead. What is the function of the ingress operator in ROSA? To set up VPN connections. To configure load balancers. To handle internal networking. To manage routes and ingress controllers. The ingress operator in ROSA manages OpenShift routes and ingress controllers, directing external traffic to services. What is the purpose of private link in ROSA? To manage DNS records. To provide private connectivity to the cluster API. To enable public internet access. To handle load balancing. Private link in ROSA provides private connectivity to the cluster API, enhancing security by keeping traffic within the AWS network. How does ROSA handle application monitoring? Using Red Hat OpenShift monitoring stack. Through AWS CloudWatch. Via Prometheus and Grafana. With Nagios. ROSA uses the Red Hat OpenShift monitoring stack, which includes Prometheus and Grafana, for comprehensive application monitoring. Which service can ROSA use for event-driven scaling? Only AWS auto-scaling. Third-party autoscalers. OpenShift's built-in scaler. Kubernetes horizontal pod autoscaler with AWS CloudWatch. ROSA can use Kubernetes horizontal pod autoscaler with AWS CloudWatch metrics for event-driven scaling. What is the primary benefit of using ROSA? Faster network speeds. Lower cloud costs. Greater storage capacity. Reduced operational overhead. ROSA's primary benefit is reduced operational overhead, as Red Hat and AWS manage the control plane, updates, and security. Which service does ROSA use for cluster networking? AWS VPC. Calico. OpenShift SDN. Flannel. ROSA uses AWS Virtual Private Cloud for cluster networking, providing secure and scalable network infrastructure. Which AWS service is used for ROSA's log management? AWS Athena. Amazon CloudWatch Logs. AWS CloudTrail. AWS Elasticsearch Service. ROSA uses Amazon CloudWatch Logs for centralized log management, making it easy to store, monitor, and access log files. Which AWS service is used for ROSA cluster storage? Amazon Glacier. Amazon EFS. Amazon S3. Amazon EBS. ROSA uses Amazon Elastic Block Store for cluster storage, providing high-performance, durable block-level storage. Which feature allows ROSA to integrate with existing AWS VPCs? VPN connection. VPC peering. AWS Direct Connect. AWS Transit Gateway. ROSA can integrate with existing AWS VPCs using VPC peering, allowing secure communication between the two networks. What is the role of the machine config operator in ROSA? To manage user access. To manage node configurations. To handle cluster networking. To configure storage classes. The machine config operator in ROSA manages the configuration of worker nodes, ensuring consistent settings. What is the role of the config operator in ROSA? To manage cluster-wide configuration. To handle network settings. To manage AWS resources. To configure individual pods. The config operator in ROSA manages cluster-wide configuration, ensuring consistent settings. How does ROSA handle cluster scaling? Manually by the administrator. Using OpenShift's built-in scaler. Using AWS auto-scaling groups. Through Kubernetes horizontal pod autoscaler. ROSA uses AWS auto-scaling groups to automatically adjust the number of worker nodes based on demand. What is the purpose of the cluster version operator in ROSA? To manage network policies. To handle node scaling. To manage cluster upgrades. To monitor cluster health. The cluster version operator in ROSA manages cluster upgrades, ensuring a smooth transition to newer OpenShift versions. Who manages the control plane in a ROSA cluster? Amazon Web Services alone. The customer. Red Hat alone. Red Hat and AWS. In a ROSA cluster, Red Hat and AWS jointly manage the control plane, ensuring high availability, security, and updates. What is the purpose of the Insights operator in ROSA? To handle performance monitoring. To manage cluster analytics. To configure log analysis. To send anonymized health data to Red Hat. The Insights operator in ROSA sends anonymized health data to Red Hat for proactive issue detection. What is the purpose of the service control policy in ROSA? To control permissions at the AWS organization level. To manage OpenShift RBAC. To set up pod security policies. To configure network policies. The SCP in ROSA controls permissions at the AWS organization level, ensuring consistent access control across accounts. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and, if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.